All right, design, we're here in my messy house. Just ignore my messy house. And the first thing that I'm going to do here is I have the mats, okay, and we're going to load the material on the mats first, okay. So make sure that you look at the mat, like the blue one is light grip, so this would be for like fragile paper, thin cardstock. And then we have standard grip, and that's usually what I use for almost everything, like because I'm usually working with vinyl and thicker cardstock, okay? So I'm going to load 2 of these green mats with just cardstock, and then I'm going to load 1 of these green mats with vinyl, okay? So I'm going to do Noah's on here. So you can actually see it cut on vinyl. Then everybody else's, I'm going to put like 4 designs on each of these on paper, just so you can see the process of what your design would look like if it was actually printed, you know, cut on the Cricut. Okay, so I'm just going to grab, I have some material. Maybe I'll use a crazy orange color. Now the mats, they have this cellophane, so you got to peel it off. And you got to put it somewhere that you're not going to lose it. Okay, so I like to put mine on top of my paper and vinyl containers. And then you want to align the actual material to like the actual like, it actually is gridded out by inches. And so I'm going to put it over here in the upper left, upper left hand corner, your upper left. That's where I'm going to align the cardstock to. Okay, so I'm going to do that. All right, depending on what the material is, you might have to use a brayer to like put it down, but I'm just gonna smooth it down and it looks really good. Okay, so this one's loaded, and I'm gonna do the same with, okay, I'll do another kind of neon because I think you'll be able to see. Maybe I'll do a different color just so you can see the difference between the matte. And I'll do yellow. Alright, so I'm going to get yellow, and again I peeled off the top, and I'm going to affix it in the upper left hand corner. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be recording on my iPad. So I have my iPad here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up your files here. So I'm going to be recording on the actual iPad, and then I'm going to record myself also like doing this over on my Maker. And then I'll just like sandwich them together when I'm editing. All right, let's go. All right, guys, so this is my Maker. We have the same makers at school, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lift up the top, and then automatically it will fold out, and then I'm going to turn it on. Will think. Okay, so now I'm going to open up the Cricut app, and I'm recording my screen so that I will kind of intermix this. All right, and you have to sign. I'm going to open up the Cricut design space. You should have already signed in and made an account. All right, and the first thing I'm going to do is say new project. Okay, and I'm going to hit at the very bottom, I'm going to hit upload. Okay, and then I'm going to go to browse files to actually find the files, and I already put them in my Google folder so that I could bring them up. So you'll just navigate to it where you saved it. You either saved it to your iPad or your Creative Cloud account. So I'm going to go to browse files, okay, and as you can see, here is all the files that I actually put, you know, all the ones that were good to go. So I'll just pick, you know, Brittany's. Okay, and then it's going to ask me to name it. Okay, and now it's saved to my images. Okay, so now I have to pick which one am I actually going to bring into the space. So I'll go ahead and pick Brittany's. Okay, and I'm going to hit insert. All right, and you can see it's really, really small. So I moved it to the upper left hand corner, and I clicked and I dragged it. Okay, and now I have to, so I know my paper is 12 inches by 12 inches, and I'm going to do 4 of them. So I'm going to make hers about a little less than like 6 inches. And then I need to go down to the very bottom where it says edit, and I need to say what is it going to do. So I'm going to say that I want it to cut this line and then hit apply. Okay. Now I'm going to continue to upload. Okay, and we'll bring in Linda's. Okay, and I'm doing Linda's even though there's going to be some problems, just so that we could see what those problems are. Okay, and I'm just going to go to plus image because now I know that they're all here. We'll pick a couple other people's to put in here and resize. And we have to make sure that it's not too big or they won't all fit. We'll do the UFO. Okay, and I just have to make sure that they are all set to cut, which is usually the default. It's set to cut and cut. Okay. Is this one cut? Cut. Okay. All right, so it's all set and I have all those things here. So I'm going to say make it. And so they were not grouped. So I'm going to go back. It's different on the desktop, so it looks different. Okay, so what I'm going to do is select all of them and I'm going to hit actions and I'm going to hit attach so that they're all together. Now I'm going to hit make it, and now it thinks that it's too big because Linda's had that extra on the side. So I'm going to go back and Linda's, I'm going to ungroup this. So detach. Linda, I don't know why hers is so big. So I'm just going to get rid of hers because it's causing us problems, and I'll just bring in somebody else's. So we'll bring in Jesus's hat. Okay. And then that's not going to give us any problems. Okay. Okay. And then I got to select them all and I'm going to attach them. So they're all grouped together. And we'll make sure they're all set to cut. Okay. So I'm going to go to make it. Okay. Now this looks good. And I can see, I can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like. So I'm going to hit continue. All right. And it's going to say select the device that you are going to use. So I already loaded it. So I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to go to Bluetooth. All right. And you need to make sure that it's on, and you also have to make sure that your maker is connected. The first time that you connect it, it's going to ask you for a password, and the password is just 0000, 4 zeros. All right. So I'm going to go back because mine is already ready. I'm going to hit continue and you should see my maker. There we go. There's my maker. I'm going to select it and say this is where I'm sending it to. And then on the machine, the power button will turn blue, and that means it's connected. Okay. Then it's going to say what material are you cutting. So as I told you guys, I'm using a cardstock. So it's a medium cardstock. So I selected that. Then the arrows are going to flash. All right. So I'm going to take the mat. And I'm going to insert it into the guides, and then I'm going to press the arrows and it's going to load it. I'm going to go back and forth. Okay. And then, okay, the Cricut button will flash, and now I'm going to select that and it will cut them out. Okay. I'm going to move the camera so you guys can see a little bit better. Okay, and when you see the blinking arrows again, then you'll notice that it's ready for you to unload. So it's blinking because you need to press that button again. You can't just like pull it out. Something I just wanted to mention is that I wanted to show you the amount of space behind the Cricut. Notice that it kind of sucked the mat in and out. And so before you ever get started with your job, you have to make sure that there's nothing like, I don't know, like a water bottle or something sitting behind the Cricut. Otherwise it will get kind of knocked over, it will get in the way, and it could actually like ruin the Cricut and everything. Okay, so let me hit the button. Let me get this back to where it was. Alright, so I'm gonna hit the button to unload. Okay, and now let's bring it over to the table and see what we've got. Okay, so I have everyone's designs, those 4 designs here. Now they actually suggest that you unload the paper like this, where you actually take the design, put it flat on the table, make sure the table is clean. I cleaned before I got started. And you actually want to peel the mat from the material. If you don't do this, then when you peel off everything, then it will curl. So that's kind of my like suggestion for you. You'll see that on a lot of videos. Okay, so I peeled this away. Okay, and it looks like Brittany's actually had a little, do you see how it's like cut right there? So it means that she had a point that was kind of like off the grid, and it actually cut it. So I'm glad that I did it on cardstock, you know, before I actually did it on vinyl. All right, so then let's take a look at what we have here. Let's see if I can get it really close. Okay, and you can see that there's these little pieces that are still left. So I need to take my weeding tool and get that out. So this is my weeding tool. It's like, and it's really, really sharp. And I'm just gonna go on here, and it just kind of helps me kind of like grab it, and then I can pull it off. Now if you ever get something like stuck and it's kind of hard, we have this cute little spatula, and that helps you kind of lift delicate pieces out of paper designs or really thin material. I'm gonna do this with the UFO. So sometimes you could just use the weeder as like a grabber. I'm doing that with the UFO here. Okay, and so let me show you the designs now that I weeded them. Okay, and now I'm gonna try to peel them away. Again, I'm gonna try to put this down, and so that they don't, it kind of helps keep the material. I gotta find the cover, and I'm gonna put that back on. Make sure there's no like little pieces left on the mat. I'll align it, and then it's okay if it's just like a little bit off, and then smooth that on. All right, and then I'm gonna zoom in on these designs. All right, so these are the first 4 that I'm gonna print, okay? I wanted to show you, this is Linda's and Viviana's designs, and how I said, oh, they're cute, but they're not ready. So I just wanted to show you if I weeded this. Again, Linda must have had like a little, you remember how I said hers was really long? And it had that weird box around it? She must have had like a point like that we couldn't see off, and it was also a line, so it cut through it. So that's why I kind of was like, why is there that weird bounding box? So you might want to bring your SVG into Cricut and make sure that that it doesn't have that, you know. So I'm gonna peel off the excess. I'm filming, and you can see that Viviana's wheels just popped off. So remember how I said it can't just be a line? So hers were just lines, they weren't shapes. So then she's just left with, and then she also had some lines in hers too. So we would be able to remove these little circles with the weeding tool. So the thing with Linda is that we had that problem with that line, and then it's kind of like, well, you know, now that she's done all of it, she can decide which line she's gonna keep and which one she's not. So it's kind of like she could remove that one and then she can remove every other one. But she didn't do that, you know, she didn't actually like delete those parts, so we don't know which one is supposed to stay and which one's not supposed to stay. So you just kind of have to figure that out. Okay. Alright guys, so now I'm ready to I'm going to load Noah's, and I'm going to load Noah's design, and I'm going to do it with vinyl, okay? So we have heat transfer vinyl sheets, and it comes in all these like wonderful colors. Okay, so I just picked out, it's like a fuchsia, or I guess it's a red rose color, okay? So it tells you, the box tells you that you need to remove this light blue film on the material. So I'm going to do that, and if it's hard for you to do, you could take your handy little weeding material and kind of dent the corner of it and pull it off. So that's exactly what I did. Okay, so whatever side that you pulled off the blue from, then the other side needs to go face down on the mat. Okay, so I'm going to peel off that protective cover on the mat. And then this is a little bit smaller than 12 by 12, so again, you're gonna put it in the upper left-hand corner of the mat. So I'm gonna do that and align it as straight as possible. And then this is a great one to actually use the brayer and roll out, which I don't have one here at my house. I should get myself one, but okay, so now it's all loaded, and now I can bring it over to the Cricut. I'm gonna start recording again, so I can also show you the Cricut app while we're making this. So I'm gonna open it up, and I did Linda's and Viviana's, and I'm gonna show you the end result because it didn't turn out well. So that's what I meant by these aren't ready, it's not gonna turn out, okay? So I'm going to go back to Canvas, and I'm going to get rid of these. Okay, and then I'm going to go to Image, and I already loaded Noah's. So I'm going to select his cat and insert it. Okay, and then I'm going to resize it. And you really have to know what size, like what kind of like bag or whatever that you're going to. What's really cool is they actually have like you could actually behind it you can put on a template for like a baby shirt, or you know, like, is it a drawstring bag, that kind of thing. So I have to figure out where it is under the app and not the actual, oh, I don't see it here. Maybe they don't have it on the app. No, I don't see it. Okay, so maybe they don't. I'll have to look for that. So I am going to be doing a little baby onesie. So I should have actually measured that already. So I am making this for this little baby onesie. Okay, and I'm going to put it on here, and I'm just going to kind of estimate how big that I want this. So I think I want it to be about 3 inches, okay, in size. So that's good to know. And so I need to make it a little bit smaller than that. Okay. That's about, as I'm pulling it, it's telling me my height and my width. So about 3 inches, and then it tells me it's about 3 inches, and that's what I want. It doesn't look too skewed or anything. All right, so now I'm gonna go to make it. Okay, this is the important thing. This is heat vinyl, and we're gonna be pressing it onto this little baby onesie. So at the top where it says mirror off, I need to turn the mirror on, and it's gonna flip the actual image, okay? And then I'm gonna hit continue. All right, and I have to tell it what kind of vinyl. So I'm going to go to all materials and put heat transfer, and it's non-Cricut brand. So I'm going to pick that one. And it's going to even tell me, make sure mirror is turned on and iron on material is face shiny side down. Okay. And it's going to tell me to load the material. So I'm going to hit the arrow. Oop. I'm going to hit the arrow. Oh my gosh. There we go. And I'm going to wait for the Cricut to flash, and then that's ready to get started. I'm going to press and go. And I will bring you forward so you can kind of see this. Okay, and then it's flashing, meaning it's done. All right, so I have Noah's design here, and like before, I'm gonna peel the material from the mat. Okay, and then I wanna make sure that the sticky clear sheet gets back on here so it doesn't collect dust and it doesn't get stuck to anything around me now that that's peeled off. Okay, so now we have our tiny little design, and I am going to weed it. Now it's only taking like a little piece off, so I'm actually going to cut it, and I forgot my scissors. We have like really special, very sharp scissors. And I just wanted to show you these scissors because they're so sharp they actually have a little cover on them. Okay, and so I'm going to cut this out from the rest of it so that I could still use it if I wanted to do another design. Okay, so then I need to do what's called weeding, and that means getting rid of all the excess around it. So I'm going to take my weeding tool, the little hook, and I'm going to make sure that I have a mat under me. So this isn't a sticky mat, this is just a grippy mat, and I'm going to pull away the excessive vinyl, and I should be left with Noah's design. So this takes some time and patience. You want to make sure that you do not pull it off too quickly, otherwise you could damage it. Okay, so now I'm gonna come and show you. This is the design, and notice that it was already loaded on this transfer paper, so it's already that way. Okay, so now I am ready to press it onto this little onesie. Okay, so for this particular vinyl, the box actually tells us what to do, and it says that we need to iron the actual shirt first at 305 degrees, okay, and we're gonna press it, it says, for 5 seconds, okay. Then we're going to put the design on, and it says to put the carrier sheet over it and press it for 10 to 15 seconds, okay. Then we're going to do what's called a cool peel. It says it actually wants us to cool, let it cool for a little bit, and then peel off the protective carrier sheet. And then we can press it without the carrier sheet for 5 to 10 seconds, and then it should be machine washable in 24 hours. Okay. So I'm going to, I think you can see, I'm going to turn it on, and it's already set for 305 degrees, and I already have it set to 15 seconds. So I'm going to get my onesie, and usually the first time that I iron it, I actually like to fold the shirt in half so we know what the middle is. And the first like 5 seconds I'm actually going to press it down like this. Okay, so it's only at 80 degrees Fahrenheit, so I'm actually going to zoom in for you guys so you can see this. Okay, so I turned it on right here, and then this is the degrees, and this is how many seconds you want to press it. So if you want to change the degrees, you select this one. If you want to change the amount of time it's going to count down, you select that one, and that's up for more degrees or down for less degrees or for more time. And then when you're ready to actually press for something for like 15 seconds, then you select this button and it will start counting down. So as you can see, it's only at like 140 degrees. Here's a little I have the heat mat underneath. Make sure that that is underneath your shirt. You're not just gonna do it straight up on a table and burn the table, scorch the table, ruin everything. And so we're at 160, so I'm going to edit out the rest of it until we get started. So I just wanted to show you guys that, so say you like have material but you don't know how long or how high to do it. There's actually a website on Cricut.com, heat guide, and I actually saved it as an app. But you can say which kind of press you have. We have the Easy Press 2, and then you could select the type of material and the type of material you're using, like the brand and like the type of material, like is it holographic, is it printed, we're doing like solid color, and then the base material, is it a canvas bag, is it a drawstring bag, that kind of thing, and hit apply. And once you do that, so I'm just going to pick some random everyday iron-on metallic, and let's say I'm doing it on, I don't know, 100% cotton. Okay, so that's kind of cool too. And then I hit apply. Oh, I'm using the Easy Press underneath it, the mat underneath it. Then it tells me, okay, the degrees and the amount it says, and it actually tells you all the directions. So if you're not really sure, there's always Cricut.com heat guide, and you can put in all those things and it will tell you what to do if you're lost. Okay, so this is ready. So I'm going to take it. Now this is so hot. This is 305 degrees. Okay, so we're picking it up from the handle, and I already put this in half, and I'm just going to put it on top, and I'm going to hit the green Cricut logo, and I'm going to let it count down 5 seconds. Okay, and it's still going because I set it to 15 seconds. I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to take my design or my little onesie, and I'm going to open it up. So now I know where the middle is. Okay, now I can take Noah's design and I can center it. And how far should you do it below? For an adult item, I would do 3 fingers down from the collar. For little kids, I'm going to do 2 fingers down. So I know kind of like where I want it to be, and I'm going to center it if it's like a symmetrical design. Okay, then I need to get this protective sheet that comes with the actual like vinyl kit here, and I'm going to put that on here. Okay, and I'm going to pick it up and put it on again, and I'm going to hit the Cricut, and this time I'm going to do light pressure. So I'm pushing down just a little bit. It says press iron with medium firm pressure, so I'm going to do a little bit harder. Should have read that first. Okay, counted down, and I'm ready to pick it up. Okay, now it's telling us to do a cool peel. Okay, so I would wait about a minute before I pull off this protective sheet, and you're going to pull it from the corner, and again, you don't want to burn yourself. Now sometimes it tells you to do a hot peel, and this is when you'd want to put the protective gloves on when you pull it off, otherwise you're going to burn your fingers. Okay, so this is saying to do a cool peel, so let's pretend I waited a minute. Okay, and sometimes if you don't wait a minute, it might pull off the design when you're actually peeling it off the shirt. You gotta do it really gently to make sure that if you're peeling off the protective carrier and it's peeling off the design or warping the design, then you need to press it for even longer than it's suggested. So I'm going to peel off the design. Perfecto. Okay, I'm going to put the protective back on over it. And it says to do it for another 5 to 10 seconds with the Teflon cover sheet. So I'm going to put that on there. And it doesn't say firm. I'm just going to do medium to firm pressure. And I'm going to do it for 10 seconds. Okay, pull it off. Okay, and ta-da! There's my little cat onesie. Okay, and then you wait 24 hours before you actually wash it. You should wash this inside out. Okay, and my other suggestion, if you really want to make vinyl last longer, is to not put it in the dryer. So I would actually just let it line dry, and then your vinyl will actually last a lot longer. Okay.